Okay, so good morning, all of you. So we were discussing about working of BJT in the previous class. Now, some important points need to be discussed. So as already discussed with you people, that BJT is actually combination of three different terminals, N, P, and N, already being given to you on the screen, where we are having a particular doping criteria. Emitter is heavily doped because it is there to generate the carriers. Base is lightly doped so that less number of emitter carriers will be absorbed in the base region, and collector is readily doped so that it can collect whatever being emitted by the emitter. Moreover, there is difference in the areas. So emitter is having intermediate area. Base is very small in area as compared to your emitter and collector is having the largest area. Why? Because when they are going for the process of collection, lot of heat is being generated. So when lot of heat is generated, then more area is required to dissipate that particular heat. Now coming forward towards the various modes of operation. Here this particular BJT can be operated in different modes of operation. So first mode is active region. So when both your junctions, that is your emitter base and base collectors, so these are two junctions. So when this junction is forward biased, okay, so if it is PNP, then positive, negative, that means your forward bias. You already know this thing because when we are actually studying PN diode, we forward bias this. Similarly, if this is to be forward bias, then negative, positive, and this is forward bias. So when this junction is forward bias and collector base junction is reverse bias. So it is reverse bias in this particular process. This is positive, base is positive, and your P is negative. So now this particular junction is reverse biased. So if we are opting for this particular configuration, then we say that your device is actually being operated in active mode of operation. That means your emitter base junction is forward biased, collector base junction is reverse biased. We can say that particularly that your device is actually being operated in active region. So when we want our device to be operated as amplifier. So moreover, when both are reverse biased, this is P, this is N. So if this is reverse biased, P means negative, N means positive. Similarly, N means positive and this is negative. So when both are reverse biased, that means your device is actually in cutoff mode. It is not going to connect. Similarly, when you are actually having both the regions in forward bias, then we can say then device is actually in saturation mode. So when we talk about these particular modes, how your device operates, that is very, very important. Okay, so now we are going to discuss the exact working because BJT is mostly being used in your active mode of operation. Okay, so what you observe here, when we talk about that particular material as N type, that means majority carriers are electrons. Majority carriers are electrons. And when we call a particular material to be P type, then majority carriers are holes. Majority carriers are holes. Now, when we are actually forward biasing this particular terminal, emitter and base, emitter function junction is forward bias. So they are forward bias. This is NPN transistor. So this is positive, this is negative. So this negative thing is actually pushing electrons into the base. So electrons do not want to go there, but they are being pushed. Why electrons do not want to go there? Because we know that when there is p-n junction like this, so this is n, this is p, so a barrier is being created. A barrier is being created and no further movement of electrons or holes are possible. So to make it possible, we have to provide some external impetus, external force is being there, that is in the form of electric field. So when we actually apply electric field in this form, electrons are being pushed into the base region. Now, base is having very small size and very lightly doped. So some of the carriers being observed in the base, but most of them remain uncovered. So what happens? Now they are majority carriers here, electrons are majority carriers here. Now they are in base region. So they are free. So when we are actually making this particular junction reverse biased, what happens? Under the effect of positive thing, what actually happens? Electrons are being collected by the positive thing. So they are being attracted towards this. So whatever being emitted, some of them being absorbed in the base and remaining of them are being collected at the collector. So this is just the basic thing about the working of your BJT. Now next thing is why we are doing this entire exercise. As we already know that when we talk about the term transistor, it is basically transfer of resistance. That means at a particular port, your resistance is small. I have also given you exercise in the previous lecture. And at the particular input port, your resistance is very small. And we are transferring the same current to the output port with a very high resistance. So here it is being evident when this PN junction is forward biased, this resistance is very small. You have already measured in the PN junction class that this resistance is very small, sometimes ranging between 10 to 50 ohms. And this PN junction on this side, this is collector base, it is reverse biased. So whenever PN junction is reverse biased, what happens? Depletion width is more. So it means more resistance is being offered by this particular junction. So that's really a problem. And we are actually using this particular problem as our benefit. So we are transferring the current at low resistance and we are obtaining that at a system with high resistance. So basically, we are getting a very good thing, transfer of resistance using this particular mechanism. Now coming to the other aspects. As already being described by some of the students in the questions, doubt sessions, that some electrons are there. Yes, electrons are there. Some holes are also there. And we also know that under the effect of reverse bias, there is some current. So here what you can find out that your collector current is equal to your emitter current and it is being multiplied by alpha. It is being multiplied by alpha. So alpha is ratio of collector current over emitter current. So practically it is around 0.99 or sometimes 98. 0.98. So what does it mean? It means out of the entire current that is contributing for emitter current, only 0.99 will reach. This is basically a ratio, current ratio. So what happens? You got something transferred. And what is that ratio? 0.99 or 99% or 98%. So what about the remaining current? So the remaining current is reverse bias current and that is being given by ICO. So collector current is because of your emitter current some ratio and also some reverse current that is in this direction, because under the effect of this positive thing, some of the holes will be pushed into this and get combined here, and this is reverse thing. So the value is very, very small. It is in microamperes, this is in milliamperes. So that's why we are getting the entire thing. So now remember these things for future reference, that your collector current is equal to alpha times IE, where alpha is equal to the ratio of collector current over to that of emitter current. Its value is 0.99 and 0.98. Alpha is never equal to 1. And also we are having some reverse current between your collector and base. So this is the entire thing about your BJT. So according, so here uh, we can be discussing this particular PPT. So emitter of junction is forward bias, base collector junction, this one is reverse biased. So we already know that there is a term called depletion width. There is a term called depletion width. So here you can see that when your junction is forward bias, your depletion width is minimal. And when your junction is reverse biased, your depletion width is on the higher side. So that is actually accounting for your resistances. So this resistance is small and this resistance is more. Now, another thing, we are actually providing external sources. So this is emitter source and this is collector source. So this is being named as VEE. This is known as VCC, so that we get a very good idea about how things are being there. Then another thing is majority carriers and minority carriers. So this we have already discussed in the previous slide, that in P-type material, your majority carriers are holes and your minority carriers are holes in your N-type material, minority carriers. Similarly, in N-type, your electrons are majority carriers and holes are minority carriers. Now coming towards your emitter current. Your emitter current is equal to collector current plus base current. Emitter current is equal to collector current plus base current. And your collector current is equal to your collector because of majority. So what is majority? Some of the electrons are actually transferring their momentum from this side to this side. And also we are having your system where some of the holes will move towards this and this, vice versa combination is there, and that is your minority. So some carriers are there and that accounts for majority current, and while other in N type there are some holes and in P type there are some electrons, they also contribute and give us some movement. So that gives us your minority current. But again, I repeat, this current is having very small magnitude as compared to this. The magnitude of this is in microamperes, sorry, milliamperes. Your majority is milliamperes or sometimes amperes, depending upon the type of transistor. And this is in microamperes. So this is having a very small current. So sometimes it can be neglected in most of the cases. So in most of the cases, we say IC is equal to IC, but in most of the times it is IC is equal to alpha times IE plus ICO. So two currents are there. One is majority, another is minority. Now, based on the working, we normally have three different kinds of configurations. One is common base, another is common collector, another is common emitter. So I will be discussing them one by one. When base is common to both input as well as output, then this particular configuration is called common base configuration. The symbol to this is called PNP. Okay, this is PNP. Similarly, this is your NPN transistor. So when base is common to input as well as output, it is called common base configuration. This is for NPN. So you can clearly find out the difference between NPN and PNP symbol. Okay. Okay, one more thing. Why BJT is called bipolar junction transistor? So here you can find out two junctions are there and both the polarities are involved. Electrons are involved, your holes are involved in equal manner. So that's why this is called bipolar junction transistor. So this is one of the combinations, common base configurations. Why this particular configuration is called common base configuration? Because base terminal is common to input side as well as output side. So here you are actually applying the input and here you are getting the output. So to input emit base is common, to the output base is common. So that is why this is called common base configuration. So we will be discussing about other aspects for this particular configuration in the coming slides. So here you can see input characteristics. Now, when we talk about input characteristics, how we are actually going to plot them. So that's very important. So the one question which student has asked, I'm going to address that particular question now. So suppose it's not an example from electronics, but this will give you a very good understanding of the BJT. It's analogy. That means theoretically इसका कोई relation नहीं है, लेकिन आपको understanding बहुत अच्छी आएगी. So suppose this is a city, okay, and this is a metropolitan city, okay, and you are in your small town, living in a small town, okay. So here you can see 100 people have a particular qualification. So 2 jobs are there. So what happens? 100 people will come to city for that jobs. So what happens? 2 of them will get job. 98 of them are now in city. But now they are educated. They have left their home. They have no other option but to move to a other city. So here you will get 98 being absorbed. So they will get some sort of job of their choice or not. So they are getting being collected at this particular city. So 100 people are there. So this is a big area. This is small city. So 100 will apply for a city will give a job. So these people are getting into this particular city. So they are getting job. So how many jobs are there? 2 jobs are there. So 2 will get a job. 98 are there in city, but they don't have any job. They cannot go back to their home. The only option is they have to move towards metropolitan to complete their dreams, to achieve their dreams. So now they are into metropolitan city and they are being settled in this particular city. So this is just the idea about how things are being actually working. So no relation between these two, but सपोज ये स्लोप है ऐसे और ये अलग अलग रीजन है स्लोप्स के. इसको मैं रेड रीजन कर देता हूं और ये अलग रीजन है. तो यहां से यहां पे होल्स हैं और यहां से अपने बॉल्स थ्रो करी. So few balls will be entering this holes and blocking this, but remaining of them are free. So they move towards the next region. Okay. So this is how things being working in BJT. So when you actually apply some potential in the base, so some electrons being observed. So to compensate them, holes will come from this particular thing, but it's just a triggering thing. It's just a triggering thing. It's a triggering mechanism. Why? Because you are only generating 2 vacancies, But to cover that two vacancies, so many carriers will be coming from the emitter. So covering two vacancies, so many holes, so many electrons will coming to the base to cover those two things. You are actually generating two excess holes. You are creating an imbalance. So to balance that, because the system will work for a balance. So to balance that, electrons will move from emitter to base, and they cover that balance. But thing is, remaining of them are free now. So what happens? They will move towards the collector now. So this is how the things. So very small current will generate a very heavy current. So that is what we are talking about. So if we want to say your collector current, then collector current is basically beta times base current. That means a very small current is being heavily amplified to give you a beta current. Okay. So now we were talking about your common base configuration, and we have started discussing common base amplifier. Some of the students having this some doubts, so that are being cleared previously. Now we are coming towards input characteristics. So we already know about the input characteristics of PN diode. So that we have done in the previous module, that you are having a PN diode. So here you can see you are having PN diode, NP diode. So they are being actually forward biased. So this is being treated as a diode. These two terminals PN can be treated as diode. So how you are actually going to plot the characteristics, that is important. So here what you are supposed to do is, your collector base voltage is to be fixed. That means you are not supposed to change this particular voltage. That's fine. Second thing is, you are only going to change this particular voltage. This is your VVE. So you are actually changing VVE. In the diode, we are changing VDD. Here we are changing VVE. So this voltage is VVE, voltage across base and emitter terminal. And corresponding to this variation, we will note the current, emitter current. So here you can see, this is your VVE. We are changing this thing, VVE, and correspondingly, we have different values for VCB. So in the first case, what we have done, we have made this collector base voltage to be 1 volts, this thing to be 1 volt. And now what we have done, this is equal to 1 volt. And now we start varying this voltage, and we have an ammeter here. This is milliampere meter. So on this, we will note a reading. So here you can see your characteristics are quite similar to your PN diode. So initially there is no current, and after, when your this particular point comes, that is near 0.7 volts, there is a tremendous increase in the current. So your emitter current. So these are input characteristics. So what you are actually plotting, this is your independent, and current is dependent. And what we are actually fixing, we are fixing VCV. So similarly, we change this to 10 volts and repeat the entire procedure. So your current becomes more steeper, and now we are making it 20 volts, and you are getting it more steeper. So this is quite similar to your PN junction. This is called your input characteristics. So for better understanding, I am repeating the entire procedure. This is your common base configuration. Fine. So in common base configuration, when we are actually plotting the input output characteristics, first we focus on input characteristics. So what are input characteristics? That means how your device is actually going to behave in a particular set of conditions. So what we have done, when we talk about input characteristics, you will fix the output voltage. So what is your output voltage? VCV. So we are going to fix it at a particular voltage. So in the beginning, we fix it at 1 volts. Then we change the input voltage, that means voltage across VEB, and there is a meter being in series, that is more milliampere meter, and corresponding to that we increase this voltage and you note it down. So we are actually bothering about this particular junction, NP junction. This is PN junction. So the one we have done for diodes. So similarly, your collector base voltage is fixed. You are changing base emitter voltage. So base emitter voltage is nothing. Suppose this is your PN, this is your P, and this is your N. So you are applying certain potential here. This is positive, this is negative, and here you are putting a voltmeter across this. So here you are having a ampere meter here. So what we are actually doing, you are varying this particular voltage. So you are changing this voltage. So initially, no change is there in terms of current, and later on, when this particular thing nears the 0.7 volts, that is your threshold voltage or your potential, built-in potential, your current start increasing and it becomes constant. So here you can see the entire sequence, how things are actually being proceeded. So this is quite similar to PN junction. So the only thing you should focus on is when you are talking about input characteristics, so you will fix the output voltage, and when you talk about output characteristics, you will fix the input voltage. So output characteristics we will be discussing in the coming classes.